Bouvet stated that DOJ would need to consider telling the courts, fuck you, and ignoring any such court order. Did you say anything of that kind in the meeting?
Senator, I have no recollection of saying anything of that kind. To the extent I
Wouldn't you recall, Mr. Bouvet, if you said or suggested during a meeting with Justice Department lawyers that maybe they should consider telling the court, fuck you? It seems to me that would be something you'd remember, unless that's the kind of thing you say frequently.
Well, I've certainly said things encouraging litigators at the department to fight hard for valid positions that we have to take in defense of our clients.
And have you frequently suggested that they say fuck you and ignore court orders? Is that also something you frequently do, such you might not remember doing it on this occasion?
No, and as I explained, I have never directed.
So did you or did you not?
Fellow Patriots, welcome back to Right View Nation, the last stronghold of truth, the front line of American sanity, and the voice that won't be silenced. What we just witnessed in that Senate hearing wasn't just some bureaucratic back and forth. No, what we saw was the slow unraveling of rot deep within the Department of Justice. A system that was once designed to protect liberty and law, now seemingly weaponized against both. This isn't exaggeration. This isn't theater. This is the real deal, and every red-blooded American ought to be outraged. Let's break it down.
Mr. Bouvet, I want to turn to the meeting that Mr. Ruvani, the whistleblower, has written an extensive complaint about. The hearing started with the chairman reading a social media post by the Deputy Attorney General Blanche, who is present today but not under oath, nor is that social media post under oath. So let me ask you, since you are under oath, in the complaint it says, Bouvet stated that DOJ would need to consider telling the courts, fuck you, and ignoring any such court order. Did you say anything of that kind in the meeting?
Senator, I have no recollection of saying anything of that kind. To the extent I
Wouldn't you recall, Mr. Bouvet, if you said or suggested during a meeting with Justice Department lawyers that maybe they should consider telling the court, fuck you? It seems to me that would be something you'd remember, unless that's the kind of thing you say frequently.
Well, I've certainly said things encouraging litigators at the department to fight hard for valid positions that we have to take in defense of our clients.
And have you frequently suggested that they say fuck you and ignore court orders? Is that also something you frequently do, such you might not remember doing it on this occasion?
No, and as I explained, I have never directed.
So did you or did you not make those comments during that meeting?
Which comments, Senator?
You really need me to repeat it? Did you suggest, as Mr. Ruvani wrote, that DOJ would need to consider telling the courts, fuck you, and ignore any such court order?
I did not suggest that there would be any need to consider ignoring court orders. At the point of that meeting, there were no court orders to discuss.
Well, did you suggest telling the courts, fuck you, in any manner?
I don't recall.
You just don't remember that. Well, let me ask you this. It also says in the complaint, Bouvet indicated and stressed to all in attendance that the planes needed to take off no matter what. These are the planes that a judge was ordering not be used to render people to a maximum security prison outside the country. Did you say during that meeting, did you stress to all in attendance that the planes needed to take off no matter what?
Senator, your characterization is not accurate.
It's not my characterization. It's the characterization of a decorated prosecutor who was in that meeting. Are you saying that he's lying?
As I said at the beginning of the hearing.
No, I'm not interested in what you said at the beginning of the hearing. I'm interested in whether you stressed to people in attendance that the planes needed to take off no matter what. Did you say that?
I certainly conveyed the importance of the upcoming operation.
Well, don't paraphrase here. Did you tell people in attendance the planes needed to take off no matter what?
I don't recall the specific words that I used.
Wouldn't you recall saying that if you had instructed that the planes needed to take off no matter what, including whether the court ordered otherwise? You wouldn't remember that?
This is a mischaracterization, Senator. There were no court orders at this point.
Well, there was a court order, wasn't there?
No,
wasn't there a court order by Judge Boasberg, if not in this specific case, then in related cases, that people not be sent out of the country until the court could rule? Wasn't there a court order?
Not at the time of that meeting, Senator.
Did you participate in a decision not to disseminate that oral court order prior to the written court order to other agencies so those planes would not take off, so those planes would turn around? Were you involved in the decision to withhold that court order from the responsible agencies?
I think it's clear that I participated
Yes or no?
I participated in this matter, and I'm not going to get into the contents of legal advice. I did, over the course of time, as many lawyers have,
No, I'm not
provide
interested in
advice
over
about
the course of
scope
time. I'm interested
court orders.
in whether you participated in the willful violation of court orders as alleged in this complaint. Let me ask you
Absolutely
this, Mr. Bouvet, if there are notes of that meeting, will you provide them to this committee?
I defer to the committee and to the executive branch on the procedure.
And if the committee requests them, will you provide those notes to the committee?
I defer to the executive branch on the handling of that request.
And let me ask you about notes from another meeting, which you're contesting here, and that is the meeting over the decision to dismiss the case in New York, the corruption case against the mayor of New York. According to Ms. Sassoon, the U.S. attorney at the time, during the meeting with Adams' attorneys, where she described Adams' attorneys repeatedly urging what amounted to a quid pro quo, that you admonished one of the lawyers in the room to stop taking notes. Is that true?
I don't believe I instructed that attorney to stop taking notes. I did remark on the fact that he was taking extensive notes, yes.
And why did it concern you that he was taking notes of that meeting?
Because at that point in the meeting, we were discussing who was responsible for media leaks, and I was making the point that only the prosecutors had created an extensive record that could support detailed leaks.
And you were concerned, were you, that information about this potential quid pro quo might become public? Was that the concern?
I've explained that there was no quid pro quo.
Will you provide the notes of that meeting, which you, according to the U.S. attorney, instructed be collected at the end of the meeting?
I think a member of my staff may have given that instruction outside my presence, and I defer to the committee and the executive branch on records requests and how those should be handled.
Well, I would request that we seek these records, which go to the truthfulness or lack of truthfulness of this witness. There's a reason why, if I may, my colleagues have gone over at least as much as this. There must be a reason why prosecutors quit rather than following orders from you they considered unethical. There must be a reason why prosecutors complained about you in your own office, why defense attorneys complained about you in your own office, why the judge in the case involving the dismissal of the charges in New York said everything here smacks of a bargain. You testified earlier that the objective evidence overwhelmingly made it clear that it was not a bargain. That there must be a reason why everyone disagrees with you, Mr. Bouvet, and people feel it necessary to give up a job they love at the Department of Justice and quit because they won't go along with what they consider unethical and immoral orders from you. There must be a reason why that is so true of so many, and this court needs to get to the bottom of it. I yield back.
Well, as a former judge, I like being referred to as the court. But as the chair, I will turn it over to Senator Cruz.
Thank you, Madam.
So here we are, listening to a decorated whistleblower sounding the alarm. He's not some random activist. He's a career professional. And what does he claim? That Deputy Attorney General Bouvet, yes, a man with immense authority, actually told Justice Department lawyers to consider telling the courts to go to hell. That's right. The actual phrase quoted, F*** you to the courts. Let me say this again. A top official allegedly encouraged others to ignore judicial authority. Think about that. This is the DOJ, folks, the very institution tasked with upholding the rule of law. And Bouvet, he doesn't recall. He doesn't remember. Really? Can anyone out there tell me how you could not remember saying something like that? Unless, and here's the kicker, unless that's just how he talks all the time. And if that's the case, then our nation's justice system is being run by people who treat court orders like suggestions on a post-it note. But it doesn't stop there. According to the complaint, Bouvet also allegedly said, and I quote, that the planes need to take off no matter what. These were planes transporting detainees, even though a federal judge had issued a court order saying otherwise. Now, whether that order was written or oral at the time, the intention was clear. Don't move until the legal process plays out. But what did this DOJ official reportedly do? Ignore it. Prioritize the operation over the law. And now, when questioned about it under oath, we get more of the same. I don't recall. That's not my characterization. I won't get into legal advice. I defer to the executive branch. Translation: stonewall, deflect, and run out the clock. That's not public service. That's what corruption smells like. It gets even worse. Another meeting, this time involving a high-profile corruption case against the mayor of New York. According to testimony, Bouvet was so concerned about what was being documented that he allegedly told a DOJ attorney to stop taking notes. Why? Because that attorney was documenting what appeared to be a classic quid pro quo, the kind of backroom political deal-making that Americans are sick and tired of. Did Bouvet deny it? Sort of. He said he didn't tell the attorney to stop, just that he remarked about the note-taking. And when asked for those notes, he defers to the executive branch. How convenient. The United States government belongs to we the people, not a handful of power-hungry insiders hiding behind executive privilege like it's a bulletproof shield. This is why good prosecutors resigned. This is why judges are raising eyebrows. This is why defense attorneys, yes, even they, are sounding alarms. Everyone from within the legal system is screaming, and what are the elites in D.C. doing? Defending the very man who is accused of undermining everything the Department of Justice is supposed to stand for. You want to know why Americans are angry? Why faith in government is collapsing? Why people chant "drain the swamp"? This is why. Because even after all the evidence, after all the resignations, after the whistleblowers risk everything, we still get the same smug bureaucratic tap dance. Now let me speak directly to you, the American patriot watching this right now. We cannot be passive spectators in this fight for justice. This isn't just about one man or one department. This is about a culture of arrogance, unaccountability, and elitism that has infected the institutions we rely on. We have to demand answers. We have to press for accountability. We have to elect leaders who aren't afraid to shine a flashlight into the shadows of power. Because here's the truth. If unelected bureaucrats can ignore court orders, silence prosecutors, and manipulate justice behind closed doors, then the Constitution isn't under threat, it's under siege. And we will not stand by and let it fall. At Right View Nation, we believe in truth. We believe in accountability. And most of all, we believe in the America our founders envisioned. One where no one, not even the Deputy Attorney General, is above the law. Like, share, subscribe, because we're just getting started. This is Right View Nation, and we will not be silenced. God bless America. And God bless every patriot fighting for truth.